Freedom for Lindsay Lohan. The troubled actress is expected to be released from the Betty Ford Clinic tomorrow, ending 90 days in court-ordered rehab. NBC's Jeff Rawson joins us with more. Jeff, good morning.
Hi, Janet. Good morning once again. She has been here before, for sure, on track to restart her life after rehab. Experts say it all comes down to her support system on the outside, keeping her clean. So the big question remains this morning. Will we see a new Lindsay in this new year? For Lindsay Lohan, 2010 was a vicious cycle of jail and rehab.
She finally admitted that she had alcohol and drug problems. She lost out on movie roles. She had a really tough time.
The stories about Lohan were less about acting.
She started one movie, Machete, which was a cameo, pretty much a cameo, where she was naked the entire time.
And more about acting out. Most recently, accusations made by a worker from the Betty Ford Center threatened to derail the star's fragile freedom.
She was very angry and out of control.
But the worker who told TMZ the Lohan assaulted her then changed her story and said the actress did nothing wrong. In May, Lohan was ordered to wear an alcohol monitoring device after failing to return from the Cannes Film Festival for a probation hearing.
She was ordered to be here. She was ordered to be here at 8:30. She's not here.
The star was criticized for not taking the courts and her troubles seriously.
And I respect her when I've been taking it seriously.
In July, Lohan was sentenced to 90 days in jail and 90 days in rehab for violating her probation. But she was released after serving only 14 days of her sentence.
Lindsay was in with alleged murderers, and she's become friends with a lot of them.
And as for the court-ordered rehab, Lohan was released after only 23 days.
She's completed her alcohol program.
But the random drug screening test continued, and in September, there was a hit. On Twitter, Lohan admitted she'd failed the drug test. Lohan was told to stay out of places where alcohol was served, or she'd end up behind bars. A few days later, she voluntarily checked herself in to the Betty Ford Treatment Center. Lohan last appeared in court on October 22nd and was ordered to stay in rehab until January 3rd. In a statement meant to be sobering, the judge told her, "You're an addict. I hope you realize that." Lindsay Lohan spent Christmas and New Year's in rehab. She's set to be released tomorrow. Early this morning, Lohan sent a message to her fans on Twitter, writing, "Today is the first day of the rest of my life." Jenna?
Jeff Rawson, thank you. Joining me now on what's next for Lindsay Lohan is Dr. Julie Holland, a drug addiction expert, psychiatrist, and author of Weekends at Bellevue, and Bonnie Fuller, editor-in-chief of HollywoodLife.com. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning, Jenna.
As we just heard from Jeff right there, Lindsay did tweet last night, yes, today's the first day of the rest of my life. And then the London newspaper, The Mirror, has pictures from her first photo shoot since being in rehab. They're calling it her comeback shoot. Is this the beginning of her comeback, or is this all just a little overzealous of us to think that she's on the road to recovery so quickly? Let's start with you, Bonnie.
I think that she's actually done the exact opposite of what she should be doing if she wants to come back. She should be laying low. We don't need to hear from Lindsay on Twitter. And the last thing that we want to see is more sexy photos of her. She needs to prove that she is sober, she's sober, working on her sobriety, and she's sober about her career and taking that seriously.
Well, Dr. Holland, Lindsay and her mother and her siblings are expected to leave the clinic and go to a secluded place by themselves, away from Hollywood, away from all her old haunts. Is that the best thing that she needs to do right now, and why is that so important?
Well, it is a good start. I mean, one of the initial strategies when you're trying to maintain your sobriety and recovery is it's one of avoidance. You want to avoid the people you used to do drugs with or party with, the places you used to go, the things that remind you or trigger you to use drugs or alcohol. So cloistering up with her family is a smart move.
You say avoiding the triggers, but is it not true that she has spent some time with her mother out at parties? Has her mother been a bad influence? Is that all in the past now? Has any of that changed?
Let's hope it's in the past. But it is true that in the past, her mother has been more of a friend than a mother at times and has been right alongside her partying.
So speaking of her mother, she did come on the Today Show, her mother Dina, and she did say that now Lindsay considers herself an addict. She's calling herself an addict. Does that mean her time at the Betty Ford Clinic worked for her because she's acknowledging that? Or are we, again, getting just a little ahead of ourselves?
Well, the thing about addiction is it's a chronic illness. There's relapses, there's remissions, there's recoveries, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So it's normal. She's had multiple rehabs. If she really is admitting that she's an addict, then that's a very big step for her.
Okay, well, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, it really is.
But it's a big if.
That's right. But it is a good step, and it's also a good step that her mother has finally admitted that she's an addict, because she was so much in denial for so many years, always saying that Lindsay didn't need any help at all.
She was fine. Right. Well, now here's post rehab for her. Bonnie, let me ask you this: she has some plans. She wants to take her clothing line a little further. She wants to start a shoe company. Are her fans ready to sort of embrace this new and improved Lindsay Lohan?
Her fans want her to get well. They want her to be successful. And I think they want to be supportive, but they don't want to be disappointed again. I think that if she gets out of rehab like she has in the past and immediately starts clubbing again, that's going to send a message to her fans and to the entertainment industry that she is not ready to take work seriously again.
So what's the time frame for Hollywood to embrace her again? Because that's a lot of pressure to put on someone that just got out of rehab, and now to get back into the public eye like that's tough.
Yeah, I think, she needs to focus on her sobriety. She does need to take it one day at a time. I think it would be important for her to do things like exercise and be calm. She's got a lot of chaos around her. There's a lot of drama around her. She needs to just calm everything down. And I don't know if, being secluded with her family is going to be less stressful for her. She likes having an audience. It's important for her to have Twitter and have people around her, but really she needs to get comfortable alone with herself and in her own skin.
A decent deal of time as
well
to do all that.
She needs therapy.
That's right. And that's why her first appearance being in another dramatic photo shoot where she's taking off her clothes is the opposite.
It's the wrong way for her to go.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Julie Holland and Bonnie Fuller, thank you both so much for your insight. We really appreciate it, and Happy New Year to both of you.